Hi all, I have another fascinating master game to show you in a chess nutshell. Conrad Bayer was playing Ernst Falkbeer in Vienna, 1852. Ernst Falkbeer may ring a bell with you. He's very famous for his counter gambit in the king's gambit. So after e4, e5, f4, d5, taking e4. This is the Falkbeer counter gambit named after him. Now in this game, actually, we don't have a king's gambit. After e4, e5, we have knight f3. Just some quick bio on Falkbeer. A journalist, he founded Austria's first chess magazine, Wiener Schwarzzettung, in 1855, excuse the pronunciation. A few months later he went to London and played 2 matches with Henry Edward Bird, losing in 1856 and winning the later match in 1857. He then played a knockout tournament in Birmingham in 1858. He defeated Saint-Amand in the second round, losing to Lowenthal in the 4th round. He later returned to Vienna and edited the chess column. Okay, so anyway, let's have a look at the game then. So knight c6 he plays here, bishop c4, bishop c5, b4. So this is the Evans gambit. Bishop takes, c3. The bishop just drops back to a5 here. This is useful to try and keep that pressure alive, that pin, if white plays d4. So d4 is played though, e takes, white castles, d6, queen b3, hitting f7 quite rapidly, queen f6, c takes. So it seems white has constructed the center rapidly, which is one of the points of the Evans gambit. But there's some pressure here on d4, bishop b6, e5, d takes, now queen g6. Now here there is actually a loose piece liability in the position on a1, and white is not too concerned about that. He actually creates another loose piece liability here, which perhaps is going a little bit too far with the position. So now there's 2 loose pieces. It's kind of instructive, these master games. This kind of looks as though it should be dodgy. After queen h5, the idea, of course, to try and lure the queen away from f7. And now e6 it seems dangerous, but white has not put himself beyond defeat here. And it seems after f takes, bishop takes, black just takes here, and after knight ge7, there are big problems for white in this position with these 2 loose pieces, funny enough. The knight retreats here, and already black has a big advantage in this position technically. He could have actually indirectly exploited a1. Black could have played knight d4, and it's pretty horrible for white. You know, so if takes, bishop takes, losing the rook. Soon all materials put away. And this line with knight d4 is actually really dangerous. If queen e4, black could just take here and just castle. This is really good, because if the queen steps away, then there's bishop d4. You know, if queen takes, there's bishop d4. And if the queen doesn't step away, then there's knight d5, and then things like rook f6. And the king's safety is pretty shattered here. And look at f4. But anyway, this opportunity, it wasn't used here. It's a good move, knight d4, because of this loose piece. But actually rook f8 was played, and we have white playing bishop g5. And it's here we have, well, another potentially loose piece as well, though. Rook takes f3, trying to win 2 bits here. Bishop takes e7, otherwise g5 is dropping off. Now in this position it looks a bit dangerous, but now knight d4 is played, hitting the queen. The queen goes back to e4, so black needs a good move here to try and gain an important tempo, maybe, for doing his own thing. Can you see a good move? If I give you 5 seconds, starting from now. Black to play. Okay. Rook f4. It's a nice drag and drop tactic. If queen takes, then there's knight e2 check, winning the queen. So we have queen takes b7, hitting the rook. But now, guess what black plays? If I give you 5 seconds starting from now, black to play. Okay, now if you said knight e2, that's actually a really good move. I'm going to go over that quickly after the game. Black actually played king takes e7, giving up the rook here. Now we have knight e2 check. And can you spot what black plays in this position? If I give you 5 seconds starting from now, what would you play here to finish off? Okay, I hope your forcing moves are good. Queen takes h2. Yes, it's a classic mating pattern to know. Yeah, rook h4, the rook and knight. The knight covers escape squares, and the rook delivers the check. And this pawn is stopping g2. So that's checkmate. Now, technically, for those technically minded here, instead of king e7, you might have said knight e2 and worked out a brilliancy here as well. A brilliant variation in knight g3 check. Yes, this may remind you of the gold coins a bit, the gold coins game of Frank Marshall. If takes here, then rook takes is mate. And if here, can you see a winning move here? 5 seconds. Bishop takes f2. The queen is not just eyeing. Yeah, the queen's eyeing this diagonal as well as this file. So after rook takes here, queen d1 check, and that's mating either with the rook or the queen there. Nevertheless, a sweet finish in the game continuation, showing the strength of Ernst Falkbeer, who gives his name to that line in the King's Gambit. I mean, these historical games are really sweet and show, you know, the strength of these players, which of course were later to be obscured a lot in the era by Paul Morphy on his rise up. But yeah, there's some talent around tactically. Okay, comments, questions, likes appreciated. Thanks very much.